Hello, I'm Tim Bradley. Welcome to Science of the Time Lords, Nyssa of Traken, a talk with Sarah Sutton. This video features Sarah Sutton's panel talk, which took place at the Science of the Time Lords event at the National Space Centre in Leicester, and it was recorded on the 31st of January 2016. I hadn't planned on recording videos during the day I was attending the convention, but as I was there, I thought, why not? So here is Sarah's panel talk, which I recorded on my digital camera. This was my first go at recording a video at a convention, and it was a very exciting experience for me, and one that I very much enjoyed. Thankfully, I was able to record most of Sarah's panel talk on the day, although I did have problems with my digital camera. So, but it was a first go, and I really enjoyed it. And all the questions I asked Sarah at the panel talk are there in this video. Let's hope that the full panel talk with Sarah Sutton will be available by the Who's He podcast, which should be available later this year. Although the picture and the sound, although the picture quality isn't good on the video, the sound and the picture should be adequate enough for Sarah to be heard in the video. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and it was the highlight of the day for me to see Sarah Sutton's panel talk. So yeah, enjoy.
Bush Davis Ballet School, another professional ballet school. So.
Fantastic. So was it always in your mind that the ballet was going to be first? Did you have any dreams of that?
No, not really. The reason I ended up at Elmhurst was I was at an ordinary school and it was going to close down, and my parents thought, well, I don't know where we're going to send Sarah to school because I obviously wasn't very academic. What we're going to do with her? And because I was doing ballet classes at that school, the ballet teacher said, well, Sarah's pretty good at dancing. She obviously really enjoys it. Maybe you should try auditioning her for Elmhurst. And my parents had never heard of Elmhurst. But I did, and the artistic director there saw something in me, I don't know what, and she said I could go. So yes, I don't think I had any dreams of anything particularly. I just enjoyed the dancing, but I was never good enough to be a professional ballerina.
So at the age of 9, you auditioned and got the part of Baby Roo.
Yes, Baby Roo.
And that was the Phoenix Theatre,
Phoenix
London?
Theatre, Tottenham Court Road. Theatre owned by Clint Chipmans, I remember. Yes, my agent came to the school that I went to, Elmhurst, had its own agent who represented all the girls at the school. And she used to come to all the productions we did, and I had a nice little part in the summer show, and she saw me in that, and she said, they're auditioning for Winnie the Pooh, they're looking for a Baby Roo, I think Sarah should audition. So she rang the director and suggested my name, and he just said no, straight off. Why? And he said, well, no, Roo's going to be a boy. I'm only auditioning boys, so it's just pointless. Goodbye. So I said, well, I'm going to pester. So bless her heart, she pestered and pestered, and in the end, she wore him down. He said, okay, I'll see Sarah. She'll be the only girl at the audition, but I'll see her if it'll just shut you up. So I had to learn a little song, and off I went to the audition. I'd never stood on a big West End stage before, and I walked on the stage and burst into tears. Well, this is not a good start, because he really doesn't want me there anyway, and now I'm crying. So he said, go away, stand in the wings, and pull yourself together, and if you can come back, I'll listen to you, but if you don't, then you can just go home. So I pulled myself together, and I did the other song, and I got the part. I beat 99 boys.
Wow.
99 boys, and I was the 100th, and the only girl.
Amazing. And you played that part for 2 years, is that
3.
right? 3 years?
3
wow.
Christmas seasons until I grew out of the costume. I couldn't fit in the costume anymore, so I had to recast. But it was great. We had fantastic cast. Wayne Sleep, the 3rd year that I did it, was Tigger. And it was his first production that he was involved in outside the Royal Ballet. So he was just great. He was very funny and a fabulous dancer and a great tigger because he really could bounce. I don't know how bouncy tigger, he could really spring. So yeah, it's good.
Now, obviously we had Peter on earlier, and in terms of
what did he say about me?
No. In terms of youngest first, he was the youngest at the time to take on the role of Doctor Who.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were the youngest to play Alice on TV.
I was, yes. After I did Winnie the Pooh, the first television I did wasn't Alice. It was a play called Boys and Girls Come Out to Play, which was part of the Menace series, so it's after 9 o'clock Watershed, which is a weird thing to be doing when you're 11. But after the person who wrote Boys and Girls Come Out to Play was a gentleman called James McTaggart, and he was a director also, and he was going to be directing Alice Through the Looking Glass. And he said, I'd like you to play Alice in my production. So I was lucky enough to do that for him. And he was a lovely, lovely man. He got Director of the Year at the BAFTAs the following year.
Wow.
And I sent him a telegram congratulating him. And he sent me a lovely letter back. I still have it at home, I have it framed. And what he'd done is he'd written it, and then he'd had it photocopied in reverse. So it's in reverse because of Alice Through the Looking Glass, everything is reversed backwards. It was just such a sweet thing to do. He was a lovely, lovely man.
Now, you also played a very unusual role in a series called The Moon Stallion. You actually had to play a blind girl.
Yes, The Moon Stallion, I was 16, 17, so I was still very young, and I played this blind girl. It was a fabulous part, and a lovely series. And oh, there we go. There you see that.
Oh, wow.
Here's one I made earlier. There we go. It was lovely. Again, had a lovely cast. Caroline Goodall played Estelle in it, who's gone on to great things in Hollywood. Yeah, it was lovely to do, all on location, which is always fabulous. And in a beautiful part of the country as well, so lovely costumes, what's not to love, really.
How did you train to act as a blind character?
My mum got in touch with the local blind association in my area, which is in Hampshire, North Hampshire, and I got in touch with a lady who I don't think she'd been blind since birth, but certainly most of her life had been blind. So I just chatted with her and watched how she moved and how she moved her head. Yes, it was. I remember after the first few weeks of filming, I got a lot of eye ache because having to control your eye movements. Because when you can see, you're noticing things all the time, and your eyes move an awful lot without you even noticing how much they're moving. Blind people don't have the distractions of seeing things. So you have to try and train your eyes not to be flitting everywhere. And that's quite hard, and it gave me quite a lot of eye ache to start with, but you get used to it.
So, of course, that was also written by Brian Hales, who was also Doctor Who alumni. He'd done at least 5 or 6 stories for Doctor Who.
I didn't know that at the time.
And then, of course, you also went on to a TV version of The Crucible by Arthur Miller.
Gosh, yes, not very many people mention that. That's so cool. That was a stellar cast, that was. Eric Porter, Dennis Quilley, all sorts in there. It was, and one of the other girls in that was Sophie Thompson, Emma Thompson's younger sister. And I remember going to their house in North London somewhere for tea, and we went out a bit together and everything. So yeah, so no, that was great fun to do because there was such a starry cast. Nearly everyone in it you looked up to. So
excellent. And then, of course, came the big one, Doctor Who. So how did that come about for you?
Just the usual thing. Agent rings, you've got an audition at such and such a time. It was at Threshold House, I remember, on Shepherd's Bush Green. And you're going to meet the director. So you took it along, and I read. And he seemed to like it, so he called J&T down from upstairs in his office, and I read it again, and then I was told I got it. So.
Wow. So you first came into the series with Tom Baker, and you stayed when Tom left, and stayed with Peter.
Yeah.
How was that transition for you as an actor?
It was slightly strange because Tom was coming to the end of the longest run any Doctor's played from what I understand. And it was quite tense, the studio. But we met Peter for the first time up in the BBC Club in the bar. John Davis introduced him to us, and of course we all knew him from All Creatures, so we had a pretty good idea of who Peter Davison was, and so he's much more relaxed, Peter, and easier to get to know. Tom Baker frightened the living daylights out of me. Bless him. So it was a real. You did get the sense that this was a big deal, that a doctor was leaving and a new doctor was coming. I mean, you're aware of it now when you see it. It is a big thing. And you were aware at the time that this was quite important, because it could change the way the programme goes completely. It's going to change the atmosphere and everything. But it was exciting, and you knew the change would be good, because you knew Peter was good. He's no slouch in the acting department, so it was going to be all positive.
And of course, you were part of, at the time, the largest TARDIS crew, really, because there was 3 companies.
Too big, too many of us, I think. I've just been having lunch with Peter upstairs, and it's really nice to be able to have a chat with him, because I don't see him that often. And we've just been reminiscing about things and about how it could have panned out differently and everything. So I think. The plan was, I understand, that Nyssa was going to be the first to go, but Peter did shout for my corner. I have to thank him for that, to keep me on, because I would have gone pretty much straight away if it hadn't been for him. So.
And you got to be part of the 5 Doctors.
The 5 Doctors.
Yeah.
No. The five Doctors.
No.
The story with where you had, well, not Tom, but John Pertwee, William Hartnell.
I wasn't in the 5 Doctors.
No, you weren't.
I wasn't.
No, you weren't.
Tim, was I in the 5 Doctors?
I'm afraid you weren't, sadly.
Tim says I wasn't, so I wasn't.
Yeah.
He's done better research than I have.
You have me worried there,
Thank you.
because you see that panic over my eyes, thinking, oh my God, I don't have no recollection of that whatsoever. My memory is bad, but I don't think it's that bad.
You did do a big finish role you called The 5 Companions, which was set during the 5 Doctors, so I don't know if that was...
Right.
I don't know if that helps.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's possibly that that's got crossed over. So, you left in the story Terminus.
Yes.
At that point, and I think this is right, and again, you're welcome to correct me if I've got this wrong, I believe you were the last alien female companion for the Doctor to have until Riversong came about.
Oh, really? There's
Yes.
a fact.
Yeah.
There's a factoid for you. I didn't know that.
Because I believe Mel and Ace were both human from Earth.
Yes.
Rose obviously
Rose
was. And so it wasn't until we had Riversong that we had another alien, because she's part Time Lord, Time Lady.
Okay.
So that was quite a record to have.
Yes.